rally is extremely important to all of the Black Hills, the whole state in fact, and we wouldn't be able to exist without it.
My favorite thing about the motorcycle rally are the people that I meet and the people that come year after year after year.
There's so many amazing things to do here in the rides. If you've ever ridden in the Black Hills, you know what I'm talking about. It's just absolutely beautiful.
It really proves to you how fortunate we are that we live where we do.
It's been a wild ride, it has, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
So we're standing on the corner in Deadwood, South Dakota. What a fine sight to see.
We are sitting here on Deadwood Boulevard and Main Street. Now, normally this thing would be packed with motorcycles, but it's starting the tourist season, so there's a lot that goes on outside of Raleigh. But we just had breakfast at Legend Steakhouse in the historic Franklin Hotel.
Yeah.
Jason from Deadwood Cycle said, you've got to try that breakfast. It's the best one in town, so we did, and it didn't disappoint. We actually had dinner there last night too, which was great.
Oh, that's a twofer.
Yeah. So today we're gonna jump in with Andy Mosher, known as Cookie. He's with Deadwood Alive. They do street shows, gunslinging. They do a trial by Jack McCall. They actually aren't here during rally. There's a big tractor behind us. Then we're gonna jump over to the Outlaw Square. We're gonna learn a little bit about the history there. Jump down to Saloon 10, which is gonna be great.
So you can tell that this little town right here is a hustle and bustle always happening on this main street, whether there's 100,000 bikes sitting over there or if there's cars. It's action, action, action.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a great day, so let's get it started.
Boom.
We are actually at the Trial of Jack McCall set in the historic Franklin Hotel. My name is Andy Mosher. Most people call me Cookie. I'm the executive director of Deadwood Alive and the Trial of Jack McCall. Been here since about 2005. We are a nonprofit organization and we're charged with educating and entertaining the guests that come to Deadwood during the summer months mainly. We want to have fun with people, get them to stick around a little longer, enjoy Deadwood, and learn something while they're at it. Well, Jack McCall's the fellow that shot our friend Wild Bill Hickok down inside the Saloon No.10 on August 2nd of 1876. Kind of made a name for Deadwood because he was so famous and known all over the country. Well, Jack McCall went on trial the very next day in Deadwood. They did it in the Deadwood Theater because it was the only place where they could seat people. He was found not guilty and released. They decided that the original trial was not valid because it was actually on Indian territory. The Black Hills actually were part of the Great Sioux Reservation. So they determined that any trial for murder on an Indian reservation had to be held at the territorial capital. So they went out, found him, rearrested him, took him to Yankton, which was the territorial capital, retried him, found him guilty, and hanged him. We do 3 big gunfights a day during the summer months, and every single one of them actually happened in Deadwood. One of them, a fella got shot and lived for 67 days with a bullet hole in his forehead. True story. Another one, the 2 guys got arguing over a game of cards, went out in the street, shot at each other till they ran out of bullets, and decided to go have a drink together. And the other one, they captured a fella that had robbed a stagecoach and taken the marshal's rifle the week before. They found him on Main Street and shot and arrested him. In all of our shows, nobody actually dies in the show. One guy dies 67 days later though. I joined the troupe in 2010, so this will be my 13th season doing shows. I've been the director for about 6 years. I had a friend that was doing it, and Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. So I kind of like to dress up and play a role sometimes. And I went to a rehearsal with him. The boss kind of liked me, and it went from there. The season generally starts about Memorial Day for us, and it really picks up until Rally. After Rally, then it kind of tapers off after that. During Rally, everything in Deadwood is open, but the Trial of Jack McCall and the shootouts are not. The biggest reason is we do most of our stuff out on the streets, And with 500,000 bikers coming through, it's just not possible to do that. The rally is extremely important to all of the Black Hills, the whole state, in fact. A lot of the businesses in the area make the majority of their annual income from rally. It's just so many people in the area at that time. Deadwood, of course, we're only a few miles from Sturgis itself. It's right on the way to go anywhere really cool for a ride. So people come through here the entire time during rally. The businesses make an incredible amount of money from that, and we wouldn't be able to exist without it. I personally love it. If it wasn't for rally, I wouldn't be here in the first place. I came up for rally and decided to move here. But most of us all feel the same way, that it can be a lot of noise and kind of a hassle sometimes to live here during rally. But if you plan ahead, you get fuel, you get groceries, you do everything you need to have before rally, then you can just kind of sit back and relax a little bit when we take off for that week. This place is amazing. There's so much stuff to do. You could come here for a month and do something different every single day and still not see everything. There's so many amazing things to do here in the rides. If you've ever ridden in the Black Hills, you know what I'm talking about. It's just absolutely beautiful. To find information about Deadwood Alive, you can go to our website, deadwoodalive.com. Pretty simple. It'll tell you all about all the shows that we do, the walking tours. We'll have the stagecoach going here in a couple of weeks, the Trial of Jack McCall, where to get tickets, where to see us, and our whole schedule. If you come to Deadwood, you should obviously come and see Deadwood Alive and the Trial of Jack McCall. It's a must-see. You cannot miss that. But while you're in town, I recommend that you go to the museums, you check all of that out. The history is the biggest part for me in Deadwood. Check out the historical buildings, walk down Main Street, go in every building and look around. You're going to find something interesting in every single place in town.
Man, that was really great.
That was so awesome. I mean, if you're ever in Deadwood, you got to come and see Deadwood Alive.
Yeah, Jack McCall, gunfights. Let's head over to the Outlaw Square and learn about history. Hey, we hope you're enjoying this series so far. This is Sturgis Without the Rally, brought to you by Cobra USA. We want to thank them for that.
We've been running their parts for years. They have a full catalog of made in the USA parts, whether it's exhaust, air intakes, big ass racks, sissy bars, and freeway bars. Check them out.
Yeah, we run it all.
Yes.
And hey, go to twolanelife.com. You can see Cobra parts and many other parts as well. So back to the video. Hey everybody, we are here at Outlaw Square in Deadwood. We are standing here with Bobby Rock. Bobby, tell us a little bit about what you do and the history here.
Well, I'm the director of Outlaw Square. This is Deadwood's public gathering space here in Deadwood, and it's a place where everybody comes to have a good time. In the wintertime, we've got a rink out here, so we have ice bumper cars, we have skating. In the summertime, we have concerts, and we have events. We have gunfights, all kinds of things. And there's so much history with this corner itself. The site we're standing on right now is the original site of the Deadwood City Hall, which was built in the late 1800s, and then the Deadwood Theater, Deadwood Opera House, which was built next to it, which was in 1905. So it falls right in between the time that the Franklin Hotel was built in 1903. So underneath us, we're about 6 feet above the main street, original Main Street of Deadwood. When we were excavating this whole corner here, we found three really unique things. The first thing we found was the original boiler that heated both buildings. And we pulled that up, excavated it out, and we kept the original door to that boiler, and we have it placed on the wall here at the square. And then also in the far corner over here, underneath that deck right there, runs City Creek. And on the far corner down below, when they were reinforcing the wall, when they were doing the foundation work, they found the original timbers that were from the Deadwood Opera House and Deadwood Theater. They took those timbers, they sliced them, and they sent them for dating. The birth date on the first timber they found was 1640.
Whoa.
That's Pilgrim days.
That's, yeah.
And the other one was 1853. So there was a lot of history there. And then the other cool thing we found, the jail used to be part of City Hall. Right underneath us, basically almost where we were standing, we found the old iron bar windows for the jails for the old City Hall. We found a couple of those. So we've got those in our archives building over at City Hall right now, the new City Hall. And we're gonna finish those up and put one out here on display. So there's,
I mean, there's nothing like this deep history. And when I say deep, I mean it goes deep.
It goes deep. And what's interesting about this, the City Hall burned down in 1953. And back then, it wasn't like something burned down and you haul it out to the dump.
Yeah.
Everything
You
just
reuse
piles
everything.
on top of each other. So there's so much history from the early 1800s, even the history with the gazebo. The gazebo used to be over on Lee Street. That's a replica of the original gazebo where they used to have performances and everything.
And is that the gazebo where it was Hangman Square?
Yep.
So it was the same where the wealthy were able to
Yep.
watch what was
That
happening
whole area.
there.
And we have a great walking tour in town here. So you can walk over here to Outlaw Square. You can start with a walking tour there. It goes right up here by the gallows, and you can get a good idea of what this corner used to be, and then make your way down Main Street. And they have different points around town where you can see exactly what happened in that area.
So in the summer, tell us a couple of the headliner acts that you're putting together.
Here's what's great about Outlaw Square. We've got over 40 shows here. Out of those 40 shows, only 8 of them are ticketed, okay? Everything else we do here is free. We've got some big names. Deadwood Alive has come in here. We've got, we kick off coming up real soon here. We've got Hailstorm, Stone Temple Pilots, Blackstone Cherry. Hank Williams Jr. is going to be on this stage on Saturday. And Everclear, we've got Chris Young. We've got 2 nights of Shinedown that are going to be right here. And we've got Big and Rich and also Gary Allen. Those are our ticketed shows. Our free shows include Brûlé, which is a wonderful Native American performance. Danny Goki, who's a huge Christian artist. We're actually having some fun with that on August 20th, in between the rally and Cool Deadwood Nights. We're doing Preacher Smith's Deadwood Redemption Day.
So Deadwood is a place to come see during the summer, not just rally, because there's events. They want people to enjoy themselves and enjoy the culture and the history of this place.
Exactly. There's so much to do. And of course, during rally, this is Harley-Davidson's corner.
Right.
So of course, during rally, there's lots going on. But
We're usually here in rally, and now we're here non-rally because we want to see what's up.
Yep. And you come post-rally, pre-rally, any of those times. It's great riding all year long. Even in the winter months, I'm telling you, we get warm days in the winter months. I'm a guy that likes to ride at least one day a month.
And
you
what
know?
do you ride?
I've got an 04 Screaming Eagle Electra Glide.
Okay.
You know?
So Chris, thank you for grabbing us today. His name is Chris Rock, but Chris rocks.
Actually,
Go.
it's Bobby Rock, but I'll take Chris.
We messed that up
That's
again.
okay.
It's Bobby Rocks.
Oh, yes, it's fun.
This is what all live TV is about. We don't cut any shit out.
See you
See you down the road.
Hey, look, it's 2-Lane Live. They're coming into the Saloon No.10 to talk to Louie and Lori.
You got it.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My favorite part about Deadwood is the sense of community that we have.
It really proves to you how fortunate we are that we live where we do.
It's been a wild ride, it has, but I wouldn't have it any other way. My name is Lori Keene. I have dealt blackjack at the Saloon No.10 for 32 years. It's a family-owned business. Both of us have been raised in this bar. It's been in our family for 58 years.
My name is Louie Lalonde, and as Lori, I grew up in Saloon No.10. Our parents purchased the bar in 1963. Along with our older brother and older sister, we have managed to stay a tight-knit family and run a family business that now we're blessed to have a lot of our nieces and nephews and Lori's children, and we are truly a family-run business. Saloon No.10 was the bar that Wild Bill Hickok was killed in 1876. Ironically enough, none of us knew that Wild Bill would be the legend that he is, and so important to really the success that Deadwood has seen. The entire Main Street was destroyed by fire in 1879, along with Saloon No.10. Realizing that they had a rich history that had never been told, they began to play on making people understand who Wild Bill Hickok was and Calamity Jane was. It was a gentleman by the name of Elmer Kellogg who came into this location in the 30s, who was a cartoonist with the Chicago Gazette, and he said, you know guys, I know how you can make $1 million. What you need to do is you need to bring back the legend and lore of Wild Bill Hickok. If you look at all of the hardwood that is in the bar that exists, like the big wooden doors and whatever, those were all designed by Elmer Kellogg.
So Stu Donovan is the man that recreated, so Elmer gave him the idea of start recreating the Saloon No. 10. Stu Donovan's owned a place called the Old Style, which was a speakeasy over on Sherman Street. And they found this location. This used to be a men's clothing and shoe store, and they recreated the Saloon No. 10 in their vision in that front room. Our dad bought it in 1963 from Stu Donovan's, and he loved history. I mean, I think that's what really propelled him into buying a saloon, because he had never been in the saloon business whatsoever. He had no idea. Our parents would collect, memorabilia and history of the Old West and of Deadwood, and created, what we see today.
He always looked at history realistically, never in a cartoonish way where he didn't want to fool people. He would tell the story that we like to believe that chair is the real chair. But when you really think back what it was like in 1876 when Wild Bill Hickok was shot, I mean, it was wide open and it was exciting and it was wild, and people were there for a reason, to make money and, run from whatever they were running from. And if they would have had sense enough to know, he would continue to tell that Wild Bill was going to become the legend that he would, and that someday that chair would be worth something. That would be one smart person. If that did happen, if that person did exist, who's to say that maybe he was traveling across South Dakota one winter's night in his wagon when the snow started, and the only wood he had left to stay alive was that chair. And so, he would leave it up to people to decide if the guy who was smart enough to take the chair would be willing to risk his life and save the chair and possibly freeze to death, or if he realized that his life was more important and he used the chair to build fire. So we like to believe it's the chair, but we're realistic like our dad.
I got a totally different story on that.
You do not. I knew I was supposed to write that story down because he told me that story.
He told me that Calamity Jane, who was so in love with Wild Bill, and he wanted nothing to do with her, lived in Terryville, which was a mining town between here and Deadwood, and it's no longer existing. She took that chair because she loved him, and that was his death chair. And she had it in her possession in Terryville until she passed away, and then realizing after she passed away that it was probably something that should be saved. And yeah.
That's bullshit. My dad started bringing me down when I was 9. I was 7 when they bought the bar. My main job was to polish the glasses, wipe down the bottles, and I even had a little time card. I got 25 cents an hour way back when. But eventually, we all grew into every position that there was.
The jobs that I've done in this bar, my first job was, like you, I got to come down and clean. I had to clean the back bar and clean the mirrors, and there couldn't be one streak left on those mirrors, and those mirrors are not easy to clean. I evolved then into cocktailing and bartending, and then when gaming came in 1989, I started dealing blackjack, and I've done that for 32 years. It's definitely a generational, love of carrying on our dad's dream.
5 years ago, we were very, very dependent on the rally because Deadwood hadn't turned that corner yet where we had began to do the right marketing to build our shoulder seasons. And with that now, what we've done, if we're lucky enough to have good snow in the winter, we have 375 miles of groomed snowmobile trails. And believe me, people that have a snowmobile are the same people that have a motorcycle in the garage. When we managed to turn that corner and convince people to come to Deadwood and have Deadwood be your destination point and then branch out to Custer and Mount Rushmore and all the attractions, it made a big difference for Deadwood. But I will always support 100% what the rally does for all of us in Deadwood, and certainly for us. Because for many years, it was a rat race where you would work really, really hard in the summer and try to make as much money, and you were so relieved when the rally would come, because then you could make a little bit more money and you would put it in the bank, because winter would come and you never knew what was going to happen. And so pretty soon the money would, by April, the money was all gone, so you'd have to go to the bank and borrow money, and then you'd slowly pay it off. And it was just it was a vicious cycle. It was dumb. And now that Deadwood has really turned that corner, I think that we're all doing a better job. And now we're that part of the rally where you can come and you get great entertainment. You're safe, you can have fun, you've got incredible restaurants, brand new, luxurious 4-star hotels, and top-rate entertainment.
My favorite thing about the motorcycle rally are the people that I meet, and the people that come year after year after year. And they're from all over the world, so I've definitely developed some really cool friendships over the years solely because of the rally, and I do cherish that.
I see incredible things happening in Deadwood. We're going through an unfortunate growing pain, let's call it right now, and hope it's just a growing pain, where we've grown so quickly, and ironically enough, the pandemic benefited us more than probably most locations. When everybody else was on lockdown, specifically Atlantic City, New Jersey, Nevada, Colorado, we were wide open. And so all of those people that had never even heard of Deadwood or had any intention of coming here came because they could gamble. And it was also a place where people, it's wide open, there's hiking and the beautiful outdoors. And so along with that brought this big surge of popularity and people deciding that they wanted to sell their homes and move to Deadwood. And so along with that, we have a crazy real estate thing happening where a home that's really worth $90,000 is selling for $400,000. What it's done is people are here buying vacation homes, and it's taken away housing for our employees. And yes, there's a labor shortage across the board, across America, but even if people want to come to Deadwood and want to work here, we've raised our wages, we're right where we need to be for people to, in the hospitality industry to not, suffer, but we don't have housing. So once we pass that hurdle, and we have a lot of development going on in the area, and I believe that our local administration is intelligent enough to protect the people that live here and to make sure that what we do for the future will sustain Deadwood for many years and still make us that wonderful vacation destination that people look forward to coming to every year.
Oh, what would I say to my parents? Yeah.
Look at us now! Please forgive us for all the things we've done that you don't. And we've always been very, very careful to try to not be vulgar, Mother, even though we do speak like sailors sometimes.
Wow, wasn't that great? The number 10 Saloon.
That was so awesome. I cannot believe the family history and the work ethic that they have.
Yeah.
We see that in Lance and my kids and your kids, and that's taught from family generations.
And you see that all across these 2 lanes out in America. And so, hey, the number 10 Saloon, or Saloon number 10, didn't disappoint.
No, it didn't. And they fooled us because they were total characters, and then they got really serious about their business, and I'd love to see that because it tells you who they are.
Yeah. Boy, I hope you guys are having as much fun watching this video as we did living it, because we're learning so much and it's just fantastic.
Well, Deadwood has really shown to be a great little town to be in. We had a little conversation with Andy Mosher. They call him Cookie on the streets there. He's Deadwood Alive. They do gun shows and all sorts of good stuff. And then we walked across to Outlaw Square and we saw Bobby Rocks. I may have called him Chris Rock or something, I don't know, but what the
I
hell.
think you did.
But they're going to have a ton of events there during the rally, so concerts, all different things going off there. So get up there and check that out. And then what about Saloon 10 with Louie and Lori?
So awesome. I mean, Deadwood has become one of our favorite little spots there. Our wives really dig it as well. And I guess we're going to go to Sturgis now, right?
Yeah, we didn't realize, this footage is so good and we've got a lot of it. So we're going to split this episode into 2. Yeah, you'll see us next. We'll jump into Sturgis. We'll be down Lizelle Street, Main Street, in front of One Eye Jack's. It was so different.
Oh yeah, the action is going to continue. So keep your eyes on this series and subscribe to our YouTube channel and tell your friends.
Give us a thumbs up, mash that bell, and comment. See you down the road.